Hey Lit, Chris here, and today I want to teach you all about the good book. No, not this good book. The best book, How to Read Literature Like a Professor. I want to teach you all about the best chapter in this book, or the Bible. This chapter is ripe with a lot of great information on how the Bible is integrated into some of our favorite literature. I guess I'm going to need that book after all. Before you kids had K-pops and these YouTubes, we had a little boy named Jesus Christ and his daddy God. God did a lot of cool stuff like this and this. And then eventually he sent his boy, Jesus Christ, down to teach us rascals how to act good. Eventually some full IB students wrote a book about him and his adventures, and they called it the Bible. I guess we're really gonna need this book if we're gonna get through this one, huh gang? Alright, let's get right into it. The first thing that Foster makes a very important point of in chapter 6 is that you need to separate church and state. Christianity and different religions are so embedded in our culture that we need to separate religious references from the text itself. As Foster would put it, just because there's a religious reference, it doesn't mean that the book has an overall holy message. Number 2, the next point that Foster makes in this chapter is to think of religious narratives in a metaphorical sense. So here's an example. 4 men on horses come into our characters' lives. Does it mean A, the complete and utter destructions by pestilence, war, famine, and death? Or B, just some disastrous events are about to occur that will really just mess up our characters' lives? Yeah, it means B. It doesn't mean that first thing. Not at all. Number 3. The next thing that Foster talks about in this chapter is the importance of names in relation to the Bible. The author gave the character the name on purpose. It wasn't just random. They didn't say, oh, I really like the name Jimothy. No, they gave him that name on purpose. No matter if it was for plot, cultural significance, or even religious significance. In addition to names and character names, titles are also very important. The author really liked to mention East of Eden a lot. That obviously alludes to the Garden of Eden in religious texts. So look into how the titles of books allude to the different themes contained in those books. Yeah. Wow, wasn't that interesting? Man, I guess we really don't need this book anymore. Alright, just think about all the connections to different literature throughout history. Just think about all the connections to the books we read in IB English last year. Wait, that gives me an idea. If only I had known about the importance of religion in the different books we read last year, I could have wrote amazing annotation and been a risk taker in those Socratic circles. Luckily for me, I got my handy old time machine. I can zap myself right back to the past and warn my past self about the importance of religion. Let's get it, guys. Whoa, it really worked. I'm in August of 2017. Wait a second. I need to blend in. People are going to notice me. There we go. Perfect. Just like all things should be. Alright guys, my past self is going to get here pretty soon, so I got to quickly write him a letter using this pen and this piece of paper and warn him about all the importance of religion in the different books we read last year. Dear main man, it's your boy, Little C, and I want to warn you about the religious symbolism in all the books we read last year in IB English and help you ace it. See, there are religious symbolism in every single book we read last year, and I would tell you all of them, but when I did that, this video was 20 minutes long, so I'm only going to tell you a few. Alright, let's start with the first book we read last year, The Stranger. Religion is extremely important in this book because it directly conflicts with the philosophy of absurdism. People who follow absurdism see religion as just a way to give people's lives meaning. Although they would also put it as a way to escape death, as an afterlife. People like Rousseau, he thinks he doesn't have any time to waste on God. That's his words. And there's people like the chaplain in the novel who he sees religion, God, everything about it as the backbone to his existence. You really see two extremes in this book. Alright, let's move on to the next book, The Chronicle of Death Foretold. This book has Roman Catholicism tied really deeply into it. There are so many references to religion, it's crazy. Now, I want to look at one key aspect that directly ties into what Foster said earlier in the novel. Now, Foster talked about the importance of names, right? You guys remember that? That was like, what, 2 minutes ago? Alright, now in this book, there was a lot of references to name. Let's look at a few of our favorite characters. There's Santiago Nassar, cool guy, dies, oh well. But look at his name, Santiago, and that translates to saint. We have also Angela Vicar. Now, Angela, angelic or angel. Vicar also means a representative of bishop. We have Divina Flora, which is like divine flower. There are so many characters in this novel which their names are just representatives of different holy words or aspects. A lot of these names heavily allude to the character's personality or even foreshadow events that are going to happen in the book. Alright, now on to the final book I want to talk about, The Color Purple. This book's really interesting and I loved it a lot last year. But you know what I especially love about it? All the references to religion in this book. It's chock full of them. I mean, look at every single letter in this book. It starts with what? Dear God. Who's God? Oh yeah, that big old man, the religious guy, yeah? And we see this a lot represented in the novel, especially the idea of God. When Celie first starts in the beginning of this novel, she sees God as this stereotypical old white guy figure. But as the story develops and continues on, her idea of God changes. It changes from that idea of an old white guy to just something inside her, something spiritual. And finally, near the end of the book, we see how she truly interprets God as not a stereotypical old white guy figure, but as a universal being. And on the 91st letter, the final letter, she's quoted as saying, "Dear God, dear stars, dear trees, dear sky, dear peoples, dear everything, dear God." This truly cements how her idea of God and her idea of self has evolved. In this book, the author uses religion and God as a symbolism and a tool for the change and growth of Celie herself. Wow, that was really informational. Gotta finish up this letter now. I hope you can use this information and do it well this year. Love you. Perfection. Alright, the deed is done. Let's get out of here and go back to 2018. Dear Christopher, from your future? What is this, some sort of college scam? None of this in my household. Alright, I'm back in August of 2018. Time to see how much that IB English 1 HL grade improved. Oh no. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Here are some discussion questions that will be able to help y'all with your analysis of future literature and biblical elements. Number 1, what is the title of the book and what are the characters' names? If they are religious names, why did the author choose those names? And what connections does it have to the characters and their lives? Number 2, is there any importance brought upon the idea of traditional values to the protagonist or to the society in the novel? Number 3, if it mentions God, there's some religious connection obviously, but what is the importance of including God in the story? Is it for the plot or a more symbolic or thematic reason? Once again, thank you guys for watching.